All right, we are back with another Pink Ultra Presents, or Pingfluence Presents rather, and we are in one of the bougiest bars I think I've ever been to, 13 in Tottenham Court Road, and we've got a very special guest. She's on Below Deck, and she's in London for a very short time. It's Daisy Kelliher.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Round of applause. How are you?
I'm good.
How's life now you're not at sea?
Yeah, it's more pleasant than being at sea for sure.
So you just got back from Miami. How was that?
I just got back from Miami. Yeah, it was amazing. I was there for some work, a bit of holiday, and yeah, I'm happy to be home though. It was hot.
I was going to say, so you must travel a lot. So.
Yeah. I'm away next week to Turkey. The week after, I go to Detroit.
Lovely.
Then I'm off to Vegas. Then Mexico.
Good God.
Yeah, it's my schedule's pretty hectic.
Have you done Vegas before?
I have, not for a long time.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you are, in my eyes, a bit of an OG with Below Deck.
I'm not really.
I think you are. You go.
Yeah,
when did you first film?
Yeah, maybe 3 years ago. I suppose maybe feels like it was yesterday, but actually, yeah.
I mean, I guess there are so many on there. Which ones were you on? Because there's Below Deck Mediterranean.
I'm Below Deck Sailing season 2, 3, and 4. Yeah.
So that's the sailing yacht where they actually put up the.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm a bit of an OG from the sailing for.
Okay, yeah. So an OG. So tell me how that came about. When did that happen, and what made you say yes?
Yeah, that happened during COVID. So July 2020, I first flew out and did my first season. And yeah, they kind of reach out to yachties. It's a known thing. It's like any reality TV. They reach out to people on that fit a demographic that might work for the show. Right. So anyone I know who works in the yachting industry has gotten an email from them, and most people say no until there's a point in their life that maybe it works. So I had lost my job during COVID. Found myself back at home, not earning money.
Quite exciting.
Yeah, I was just excited that someone was, willing to give me a job when the world was still, pretty heavy in lockdown. And Croatia had slightly opened up, so they flew us out to Croatia, and it all happened very quickly.
And how long is a typical yachting season? Because it looks like it's 8-10 episodes.
The show runs for about 17 episodes, varying on.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah. But we film for 6 weeks. Yeah, so we get a lot of content in 6 weeks.
Because it's quite an interesting concept. I mean, so the fact that you've got people who are paying clearly a lot of money to go on these amazing yachts, is there some sort of discount for the fact they've got crews following them around?
Yeah, I don't know how much they get paid, but yeah, I think there's a discount that kind of allows them to, but I'm not sure. I think there's varying degrees, and that's above my
it's above the pay.
Yeah.
So from the season, you started, it was
2020.
And you've done how many so far?
3.
And I can't say if you're doing any more, can you?
Just watch.
Would you do any more?
I think, again, it's being in the right opportunity or at the right time in your life, so it's hard to know. But yeah, it's been really good to me. It's pretty stressful, and the more the show goes on, the pressure is kind of bigger. Yeah. But, I really enjoy it, so why not?
And you're chief stew.
I am.
So how do you get to this? I know now, I'm an idiot when it comes to yachting. I know Below Deck, obviously, but not anything to do with it. How many ranks are there? Tell me all about it.
Well, it generally varies. It depends on how big the boat is. Like any company, you can have a law firm and have 2 people running the law firm, or you can have, kind of 50 people or 60 people in a law firm. It's a similar thing in the yachting industry. Generally on the boat I work on, there's a junior stew, a second stew, and then a chief stew. That's kind of, even on a really big boat, you're probably gonna have a team of, 7 or 8 girls, and you're gonna have your juniors, you're probably then gonna go into your seconds, and then your chiefs or your thirds. You don't really go like 6th, 5th, 4th.
Right.
And then you've got, so I'm the head of my department.
You've been consistently chief stew, haven't you?
Yeah. I've been a chief stew for like 8 years. So
there we go.
There's no going back.
It does. When I watched it does come across you're in control.
Yeah,
very much so. That sounds quite backhanded compliment, but do you know what I mean? Sometimes you have a fresh chief stew and they get particularly particularly with cameras around?
Yeah, definitely. No, I've been doing it, and I can see that. Obviously, you have green chief stews, like it's their first time being a chief stew, or maybe even their second time. I had been a chief stew for 8 years before I filmed Below Deck.
So you got a lot of experience on your belt before.
Yeah, I was pretty comfortable coming into the role.
Because it does seem like I'm going to say everything from the perspective of a watcher, it does feel like sometimes they'll do like one season in second stew and then it's like bang, chief stew straight away. It seems like the progression is quite quickly, I guess that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it definitely can be. It's, again, it depends on the person you are. Some people like to take a slower road. I became chief stew after 2 years being in the industry. I have friends who've been in the industry 10 years and are happy staying second stew.
Really?
So it depends on the individual, but if you want to grow quite quickly, the opportunity is there, especially if you work for an owner or captain and they like you. You don't really need to be that qualified, so they'll, bump you up to chief stew. So
you got to get in with the good books, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. It's not what you do, it's who you know.
Yes, this is it in any line of work.
Yeah.
So you've had your first season. Who was your captain?
Glenn's been my captain the whole time.
What's he look like? Is he like?
He's like the small cute Canadian.
Super nice guy.
Yeah,
we love it.
Exactly.
He's great. He must be quite nice to work under.
Yeah, he's really nice. He's the kind of captain I like working for. He's not a micromanager. He's just a nice guy, and yeah, he's a good time. So
ideal. And so you've had him the whole way through, you say?
Yeah.
Amazing. And what about digging into the crewmates now? We love a Safa, and is it Gary?
Yeah.
There was quite an interesting dynamic there. He's quite a nutter, it seems. How is it working with people from all walks of life?
Yeah, I think, that's part of why Below Deck is so interesting. That's the yachting industry. You're bringing in so many different cultures and people of different backgrounds. But I think at the end of the day, we all have a similar mentality. We're all, willing to be open-minded, and we're all probably quite adventurous. So overall, it works usually pretty well. But yeah, of course, those cultural differences are, an obstacle to overcome.
So it's going to be interesting because you're just thrown onto a boat, and they look big, but your crew quarters are pretty tiny, right?
Oh yeah, they're small. Like we're fully on top of each other, and it's another challenge. Yeah,
and it's reality TV.
Yeah, the whole thing is
it's going to be intense. It's like I'd say out of all reality TVs, that's probably the most intense environment. Shove on a tight quarters, and do they prod you? Are you allowed to say this? Are they sort of prodding you to do certain things?
No, they definitely don't. They definitely don't produce us in any way at all. The drama is there naturally because of that environment. I know the reality TV shows, the rumor goes, sometimes they're quite heavily produced because they're just not under the same pressure cooker that we're under. It's harder to get to content. That pressure cooker, you're living in a small space, you're drinking every 3 days, you're working 14 to 20 hour days. You just don't need to produce. In a day, from when I wake up to I go to sleep, the range of emotions I can feel is quite intense. And you're doing the work thing, you're doing the personal life thing, you're doing the reality TV, whereas a lot of these shows that maybe are about dating, that's harder to get reactions out of people because you're not really under pressure cooker.
Kind of having to force it as well on dating shows, aren't you?
Yeah, and you're and you're sitting by the pool. It's like, well, what's stressful about that? Like, you're not.
You say that.
Well, yeah, for sure.
No, I agree.
But I mean, in my world, it's, I'm exhausted. I'm dealing with difficult guests. I'm dealing with interpersonal relationships. I'm managing people.
Sounds like a bundle of craziness.
Yeah.
Speaking of difficult guests, tell me about some of your most difficult ones. Have you had any which were just like, I want to kill you, or throw them off the boat rather, PG?
Yeah, I think, for sure. I think, it's like anyone who's worked in hospitality, you get...
You don't want a name drop, do you?
Well, it's not really anyone in particular. It's just overall, sometimes I'm fine. Sometimes I've had a good night's sleep and I'm like, oh, whatever, I'll get you your cocktail. Then, 4 hours later, I'm exhausted and I haven't sat down in 4 hours. I'm dying to go to the bathroom. I haven't had a sip of water. And someone asked me for a cocktail and it's like...
So you're literally just pinging around the whole time. It's not like...
Oh yeah, like it's nonstop. I've never felt physical pain like that. Like it's
really?
hard to sleep. Yeah, it's hard to sleep because of the throbbing in your feet. So it might take me an hour or two and I might only have like 4 4 or 5 hours.
I was going to say the sleep thing, because that's, I guess, energy levels are purely dependent on sleep. So it seems like you get such a varied sleep each night. One night you might have 7 hours. One night is sort of, you have to be up at 3 a.m. or something silly. Is that the case?
Yeah, for sure. I think the hardest for me is like if you have maybe difficult guests that I can't really leave the other stews to look after them, and maybe they're high energy or something like that, and then you go to bed, let's say at 1 a.m, and I'm running on so much adrenaline and my feet are throbbing. It might take me 2 hours to wind down, because the adrenaline, I can feel the adrenaline going through, like I'm wide awake even though I've been on my feet for 20 hours. They're really difficult. If it's a slower dinner and it's more slow paced and it's a bit calmer, it's quicker for me to fall asleep. But that high energy, you're feeding off
exactly
of
what
it.
you mean. It's almost like you've had Red Bull.
Yeah, exactly. And then
crazy.
you're sat there for 2 hours and you're like, go to sleep.
That must be so frustrating.
Then you're back up.
Here's a question for you. Were you someone who would get seasick before doing these yachts?
No, I don't get seasick.
That would be a hindrance in your job.
Yeah, I definitely don't recommend if you get seasick being a stewardess.
Surely you could, there are pills and things to take.
Yeah, there's pills, but it's pretty exhausting.
Flat out.
It's not an ideal thing if you get sick, in my opinion, but like each their own.
So where was the best, or not where, but what was the best season for you? And why?
Oh, I think they're all good in their own way, but we were talking about this recently. I think season 2, which is my first season, was the best. It was just so new and exciting, and there was no real pressure that I put on myself or the public put on me.
Yeah.
It was just like, who is this person? And it was different. Whereas now I feel more pressure. It's not as, I still have a great time, but it's not as fresh.
I guess you're aware as well of people watching it. No?
Yeah, for sure. Like, now I've more of a role to play, and it just feels the pressure is higher. And I don't know, it's always fun when you try something new. So that first season, not knowing what to expect from any of it.
Great feeling.
Yeah, it was really exciting for sure.
So since obviously the show's now pretty massive, how has life changed since the show? Is it like a completely new life? You must have lots of doors opened. Tell me about post.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's crazy to think of my life, 3 years ago. It is very, very different. But I guess for me, it doesn't feel that different because it was such a gradual change. Okay. But when I reflect on it and look at how different my job is now, where I was 3 years ago, it's a complete 180. But it didn't happen overnight. It's happened over a gradual time, so it feels not that different to me.
Okay, that's interesting.
It is very. It's
because I guess you would think going on a show that it would be not such a gradual feeling. So that's quite interesting.
I think maybe for other shows it's more instant, like maybe Love Island or things like that. You can get to instant fame quite quickly.
Shout out to Love Island Pingfluencers. So you do have, from what I can see, the highest number of followers out of all the Below Deckers. Is that true? Or do you even know that?
No, there's other Below Deckers.
She's pretty high up there.
I'm getting a bit high, but it's I've been doing it 3 years now.
That's a good thing though.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's great that so many people who want to watch me, which is weird, and are interested in what I have to say. That's also weird, but it's pretty cool. I remember being at a festival, and at the time I had like 100,000 followers, and there was 100,000 people at the festival, and that was was weird to me because obviously on Instagram you just see a number and it doesn't really mean a huge amount. But when I was able to visualize it,
that festival was your followers. That's a really cool way to think of it.
Yeah, it was. That was a real eye opener, and obviously now I've got 3 times or 4 times that amount. So that's crazy. Yeah.
So that alone must open a lot of doors. I mean, given we're here for Pingfluence, that's all about collaborations. You must have been inundated with collaboration requests.
Yeah,
like hotel stays, things like that.
Yeah, again, it's a bit of a weird one. It's you reach out to them or they reach out to you, and every kind of 100,000 followers, it just gets bigger and bigger. And it's a weird one for me because I live in London. I'm Irish, but my following's American, so that's always a weird one. And especially, my following is mainly American, like 65% of it. And that's always a weird one because in America, my following isn't that big. Like you're competing on a whole nother level.
Different ballpark, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But the show is huge over there, and it's since my show has been on E4. That's been weird as well.
Is it on E4? I didn't know that.
The first season so that's really changed. So when I left at the beginning of the summer, some people knew the show, and now
everyone.
I probably get recognized, a few times a month. Now it's at least once a day.
Which shows the power of an international show. Because what was it on before E4? Was it on Netflix?
No, it was on Hey You. I'm waiting for mine to come on Netflix. Because that will then change.
And then another million followers.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Because Netflix will be the big one because that's what everyone knows.
It is weird when you look at it because Netflix is. You look at, for example, Paramount Plus and Disney and all of that. Shows that come out on those kind of flop, as we know, anyway. I was on one on Paramount Plus. And it was a dating show as well, and it's international, mixed cast, and we were like, this is it. We're nothing, like 200 followers. Yeah, which is crazy, and that shows the power of Netflix because it's just so much.
Oh yeah, it will change. Obviously I'm on a Bravo show, which is Bravo's absolutely huge, and it's turning into this real cult in the last few years.
Is that what is Bravo?
Bravo is owned by NBC, so it's a channel. It's like E or
got you.
Like it's like like something that would come under maybe Channel 4, I guess, is the network.
But in America?
Yeah.
Right, I got you.
So Bravo produces, its own kind of shows, and it's just become so big in America. Yeah. And now they sold their show to Hey You, which is high. So you have to be really into reality TV to have watched my season here. But now it's on E4, so people watch. Well, people then, watch it on E4, and then it's on Celebrity Gogglebox, which opens up a huge.
Of course, yes, yeah.
Yeah, then people are like, oh, what's this? And then, once it's on Netflix, though, that's a game changer because people just sit in Netflix scrolling.
I mean, you look at Too Hot to Handle. I mean, if you compare, for example, the Made in Chelsea people, but if you look at their following, some of them have 100K. You've got people like Mars who have 200-300, but most are sort of hovering below 100, and they've been on the show for 5, 6, 7 seasons.
Well, I guess like you're saying, if you're on an English show, that's kind of heavily targeted to London.
You say that, but Made in Chelsea's huge up north.
Okay.
Yeah, because I guess it's an insight into London.
I guess living somewhere else, but obviously someone who is American, the show's not going to appeal. I don't think the show would appeal. I don't think they would.
I think it would. Really, because it's such the whole British thing to Americans, especially the. I don't know how you put it. Obviously not, but good discussion to have.
I don't know. I don't think the culture in Made in Chelsea is strong enough. It's not English enough to get that international following. I think it means more to like Irish people and English people. I think anyway. But absolutely. Like on Below Deck, you're drawing in a huge international cast, and obviously it's an American show. Right there, being an American show is a game changer.
So have you done anything in America based off the back of it?
No, I'm applying for my American visa, which will that makes it very difficult because brands, bigger deals don't want to work with you because I don't have a working visa. So I'm hoping that will change. But this year, definitely it's changing. Like, I'm going over to the boat show in Detroit. Obviously, I just did an event in Miami.
Lovely.
Yeah, and doing some exciting stuff.
So do you want to live there, ultimately?
So I don't. But
no.
When I originally started Below Deck, I was like, no. But as I'm getting more work there, and if I do keep continuing doing Below Deck, if they keep inviting me back, and there are more work opportunities, yes, I'm at the point where if it makes sense work-wise, I will move over.
Amazing, especially there'll be a lot of opportunities, and Pingfluence coming to America soon.
Yeah, it's exciting.
So moving on to Pingfluence and why we sort of got you involved. You use it quite a lot, so I want to dig into what is your kind of go-to when you go out. Do you have a particular type of bar, restaurant, type of night out, or are you just, I want to try everything?
Well, I'm more like I'll try everything.
That's what we want.
For me, I'm just in London. I pop in, and even though I live here, I pop in and pop out. I actually probably spend only 2 weeks a month here, if even, because I travel so much. But
amazing.
Yeah, it's just really handy for me. Like people, like I live in Fulham, and they're like, "Oh, where to go in Fulham?" I'm like, I have no idea. I don't know. I'm never here. And I think because I have friends all over, I'm really not the kind of person who stays in one area. Like Fulham's just really handy for me. It's near the airport. I just like the area.
Near the airport?
Heathrow.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like 30-minute cab ride.
That's the thing. I think in London, it's something and I don't know if you do this now, but there are a few things we all do. So firstly, if a tube is more than a 2-minute wait time, I'm like, oh, this is just what's going on?
Yeah, I know. I agree.
Or if you're not within a 7-minute walk of a station, I'm livid. And it's so
like
entitled.
It's like a 15-minute walk, so it is a bit of a walk.
Muck.
But door to door on the tube, it's 45 minutes to Heathrow.
Amazing.
Yeah,
So,
like
all right.
20-minute cab, right? 30-minute cab.
So on the topic of travel, where's your favourite place that you've ever been? And firstly, we'll start with Below Deck. Is there anywhere which you were situated around which just took the biscuit?
I'm mainly indoors, so I don't know, looks the same
Great
to
be
me.
on Below Deck.
That's a hard one. I really liked the first season, Croatia. I think that was a really, I really enjoyed that one. But I'm mainly indoors. But in the world, I have a few. I love Greece. That's my favorite place in Europe for sure.
Anywhere in particular in Greece?
I loved Paros. Where did we go? Paros? That was one I loved. I loved Mykonos.
Are you travel buddies then?
Well, we worked on a boat in Greece for we were there out of Athens.
So I was going to say, it's great when you've got a mate who's also a complete travel fiend and you're like, right, let's go. Who's your favourite influencer and why?
Oh my God, my favourite. By the way, I didn't follow influencers until I started becoming an influencer. Right. I didn't know it was a thing. I didn't know people actually bought from influencers. I didn't know the power of influencing, the marketing.
Pingfluence.
Yeah, I never knew, and I only started following some because I didn't know what I was doing. So I was like, I don't know how to.
Do you have a strategy now with your social media, or is it just posting your?
No, I have literally zero strategy. I post when I feel like it, but it works for me because it's really genuine. But it's also, really authentic.
I think that's a good topic to lead into because I think social media is taking a turn, and it used to be all about portraying this amazing life, but now I think people are more towards seeing authenticity, and they like to see what's Daisy really up to. Where is she in the world? And I think that's pretty much where it's going, which is why if you look at some of the brands you work with, Dot Cotton, I knew you worked with, brilliant, 90s, amazing stuff by them now. I know they got some purchases off the back of you just posting, which is incredible.
That's awesome. No, that's amazing. Yeah, it's really, it worked really well for me because when I got into the influencing space, it's not really my thing. Like I don't actually really like taking photos. I do it because it's part of my job. It makes me feel really uncomfortable.
Oh, same.
I don't like taking out my phone at dinner, all this, so I was a bit nervous about it. I definitely don't like editing photos. And I started doing it and kind of messing with it, and I was like, this is not my thing to take 50 photos to get one. I was like, I'm taking one, and that's the photos that's going up.
Oh, I love this.
And then, and then it worked really well, and it was really at the right time as well when people were looking for more authenticity in influencers, and were looking for less curated, edited, which was great for a really long time, but the space definitely shifted. People are looking for non-edited. They're looking for, in the moment. I just think people were being sick of being sold something that wasn't and also
sort of really is it like feeling like you could never get to that because
because it's not relatable,
Yeah.
and so it worked really well for me. And I think brands that want to work with me, obviously brands want to work with all different types of people, but it works well that there are so many brands out there that are looking for someone who's genuine and authentic, and that works for me. I'm like, that's great if that's what you're looking for. And same with the amount of my followers, what the main consistent feedback is, it's just so nice that it's someone relatable and authentic, that it's not curated, edited, anything like that. It's just like,
I love that, because I was going to ask what's typically what kind of engagement do you get? Do you ever deal with negative people on there?
Yeah, for sure. You absolutely get negative feedback. Definitely, the bigger you get, it's interesting to see the shift. And I really, it sounds so cliche, but it stems down to a huge amount of jealousy. It really does.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, the bigger you get, the more people are they don't want to see you succeed. But then the total opposite. There's so many people who want to see you succeed.
That's it. I think you have to, particularly in Britain, where we're quite a negative country, and I think a lot of people realise through all these sort of positive influences that you actually have to train yourself to realise being happy for other people is great. And there's a great, it's not a quote, but I remember Alex Hormozy, who's quite a big influencer, he was saying when he was building up his gym empire, all the people who were in there knew he was sleeping in the office and knew he was just grafting as hard as he could, and they supported him. But the second he became big, they suddenly started taking the piss and being a bit jealous. And it's amazing that the same people that wanted to see you succeed suddenly flip to, and it's that sort of, I think the quotes, I'm a master of screwing up quotes, by the way. Everyone wants to see you succeed, but not succeed further than them. Yeah, and it's,
I think that's definitely very true, and it has really been interesting because my influencing is at a slower pace than someone who comes off Love is Blind or something like that. It was really interesting to see the shift, and I completely agree with that. It very much gets to a point, and I've had people reach out to me, like producers and stuff who I've met in the Bravo space, and when I started to get more hate, they were like, this happens to every single person who starts to get bigger than people like them to be.
That's it.
They like them to stay exactly as big as you are, and they're really happy for that.
But don't get bigger than me.
And I'm sure that happens with everything, and not just influencing or TV. I'm sure that happens with money, like you said, a gym space, where you're like, I'm really happy you're slogging it, and I want to see you make it, but as soon as you really make it,
it's so true. It's quite a sad thing, but it's good to see that shift in social media.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think the majority of it's really positive. Good. But everything comes with some hate, of course.
How do you feel about having fans? That must be quite an
very
interesting.
surreal.
Yeah, that's cool, isn't it?
I definitely suffer imposter syndrome. I have my whole life, so it makes me feel uncomfortable that I'm like, don't be my fan. I'm like, don't listen to me, don't, But it is really nice, and especially when it's a lot of it is females and women, whether they feel relatable to me as a woman in their 30s. Amazing. Or they want to be something like me, or they feel like I'm a positive role model. That's awesome. Yeah, that's Love really that. Cool. Yeah, I really enjoy that.
That's such a great, because as I say, social media is an interesting place, so it's nice that you're sort of sitting in this nice, positive, authentic area of it.
Yeah, for sure. People are seeing me work at a really physical job, at a really tiring job.
You work damned hard. A woman works hard.
You definitely can't say that I don't work hard. And then, being a female in their 30s, single in London, I'm very open about that on my Instagram and things like that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and I think a lot of women are, obviously we're in a really great space at the moment where women are settling down older, but it's also a very scary thing that's happening, and the shift in women putting their careers first. And I think it's always been there, but it's really shifting.
It's really happening.
People are
great podcaster, Chris Williamson, he touches on that more women are putting their career. In fact, the stats are crazy. It's
oh
so
yeah,
many
no,
women.
it's yeah. I think that's always been there, but it hasn't really. And like now, in the last, I would say in the last 5 years, I would agree. I could imagine the stats are everyone I know is just like
it's good. Grafting, graft away. Because I'm in the same space. It's sort of people ask me about kids and things like that. I'm like, fuck right off. It's that you want to get your career sorted. You want to achieve
but
your own
it is
dream.
different though with men, and that's where women are taking. You know, obviously men can have children at a healthier age, and it's a very different thing, and it's great to see so many women take charge and say, you know, whether they're choosing to freeze their eggs or whether just not choosing to have children or whatever route they're choosing to go down, and saying, you know, I'm either putting my career first or I'm waiting for the right person. But it's a scary space, and I think a lot of women are struggling with that and are conflicted because lots would like both. So I think with women who are very open about that, which they are on influencing, I think it's making a lot more women feel, you know, happy in their choices and not feeling as alone and things, you know, especially because most women I know my age are married with children, so when you feel
very true.
kind of alone and you're seeing on social media being like, okay, I'm not alone, that's, you know, that's a really cool
100%. I think that's so true. That's that shift I was talking about in social media that's really, really nice to see.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's becoming I definitely think social media, it's, you know, still a very, very dark place, but overall and that was, you know, part of me accepting to be on the show was scary because I suffer just like everyone else. I go through periods in my life where are darker than others, and I was like, I don't know if, you know, I can be on social media and everyone telling me how ugly I am. I was like, that's kind of scary. But you know, I thought about it and weighed up the pros and cons, and I was actually really pleasantly surprised at how much more positive it was than negative. But it's definitely a weird place to be.
Are you on Twitter?
I am a little.
So I love the comparison because Twitter just seems to be, or it's called X or something now, but it's certainly not as nice as Instagram. I think there's something I've noticed. I think it's obviously different for men and women, but it's certainly something that's universal. Is people when they hit 30 have almost a crisis where they're like, shit, I'm 30, I haven't got my stuff together. And I know a lot of people around me who've had that, and I certainly had those thoughts. But I saw a great Instagram tile that said your 30s are like your 20s, but just with more money, and it made me sort of reframe it and go, well, actually, why do we need to be ready obviously for women it's different, but how do you feel on that?
No, I totally agree, and it's really weird for me because before Below Deck, even though I would have been single, I would have been, 33, and I felt more ready for a family. I felt more ready, maybe because my life felt a little stagnant, and I was like, I could have a baby, but obviously that felt very far off because I was single. And now that my life has become so exciting, and I don't know what's coming around the corner. Yeah, I've got money, I'm traveling, I'm doing all these super cool. Yeah, it's amazing. Like work-wise, not only do I do Below Deck, but I'm, doing brand deals, and but my life is going out for dinner. That is permanently what I do.
Love it.
And I know I for a lot of dinners and drinks. Which is weird because it's like a more slow-paced drinking than when you go out and just get hammered. Now I'm just...
It's a shift, isn't it? It's a weird shift.
I'm just permanently like, cocktail, cocktail, martini.
It feels like in London that when you have a drink, it's like, I should be getting smashed now. It's a really toxic thought.
I know, I can't. Yeah, it's a lot.
Speaking
but
of
it's so
booze,
fun.
more.
Yeah, definitely.
It's
really
super
fun. And now my the shift in the last 3 years from going, and I still want a family, but from going really feeling like, I feel like I'm ready and I could have a child or a partner, to now being like, I couldn't think of anything worse. Like, and I'm not, I want it, I'm 36 and I'm like 5-6 years at least. I'm like,
amazing.
Way too excited in what I'm doing.
Good.
Super. And a child just wouldn't be in the child's benefit or my benefit. So
I think that's a great mindset, because honestly, it seems like you've got so much more so many more opportunities coming your way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to have children when I'm older. You know, my mum had me at 40, and my sister at 43. I think it turned out okay.
I think you're doing fine.
A few health issues. So, you know, I don't think there's any reason. I'm a very healthy person, and
loving life.
Yeah. And if it doesn't happen, that's okay. But at the moment, yeah, I feel like there's more out there, and it is a weird like shift of when you do have money. It is. I'm so glad I didn't have children in my 30s and not been able to enjoy all these holidays, all these things, because I'd just be tied up paying, you know, school fees and nursery and saving up and paying for my child. So yeah, that's for my 40s.
Love it.
My 30s are for having fun. Way more fun than my 20s.
This is what we need. Well, that's the perfect way to end it. So thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
We are going to send you off to have some cocktails, but before that, we're going to do a quick fire round, which is me just plucking questions out of thin air, and you just answer with the first thing that comes to your mind.
Oh gosh.
V-Way, you can help me on this. You're quite good with questions. Yes. So we'll start with who was your favourite castmate on the show?
Oh god. Glenn.
Glenn. Oh, good answer. Least favourite?
I'm gonna go fuck. Oh my god. Least favourite. Gabriella.
Gabriella.
Yeah, I'm gonna get
repeat. That was Gabriella.
Gabriella. Well, we don't talk now.
Fuck you. No, if you want to come. Favourite restaurant in London?
Ooh, favourite God. Honestly, the Pasta Nostra, was that what it's called?
Pasta Nostra.
I am not kidding, was probably one of my favourite dinners I've ever
We love
had.
Pasta Nostra.
I fully was, me and my friend the whole time were like, what the hell is this place? We're obsessed.
It's amazing, isn't it? Because the staff are all just legends.
Oh my God,
cool.
well, I think we enjoyed it. We were quite excited about it.
Great.
Oh, it was great.
It feels authentic, doesn't it?
Oh, it was amazing. Like, the owner was incredible. And honestly, we had the best time. The food,
music to my ears. Here we have. See, this is the Pingfluence service. We bring drinks live on TV. Your favourite bar in London?
Oh, my favourite bar. Oh, I'm gonna go with. This is a bit of a fancy one, but I love the bar in the Shrine, the Mandarin Oriental. Sorry, Mandarin Oriental. I was there last night, and we went there because I love the bar so much.
Amazing. Is it similar to this?
Yeah, it's a similar look, and I don't know why I was telling my friend that we were there last night. I think it's because it's not that far from my house. So I end up walking there, so people always be like my dad, he stays in a hotel beside it, so I always say like, oh, will we meet in the Mandarin Oriental? So I have this weird like nostalgic good memories.
It's good.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know why I end up there, but I've ended up there so much, and the service is just amazing. The cocktails are incredible. I love it in there.
Soon to be on Pingfluence. Favourite app in London?
Oh, well, obviously Pingfluence.
Daisy!
He's like side-eyeing me. Like.
Favourite bar worldwide? Favourite bar or restaurant worldwide?
Oh my gosh. Do you know, I have the best memories at Nikki Beach in St. Bart's. Every time I've been so lucky to have gone there several times, and I've got
unbelievable.
Like any Nikki Beach, it's like any beach bar, but for, you know, it's just one of those places, again, when I go there with the people, whoever I'm with, for some reason we just end up in some, you know.
So it's the people you're with often.
Yeah, I mean, it usually involves being on a table with a bottle of champagne being poured down my mouth.
Yes,
like,
Daisy!
I complain, like, you know. So.
Favourite country in the world?
Let's go with. Oh my gosh, that's a really difficult one. I you know, every time I go to French Polynesia, it's, you know, just it's incredible.
Lovely,
yeah, it's amazing.
Least favourite country in the world?
Oh God, least favourite. Oh, I feel really bad for saying this, but I lived in Belgium for a year. Oh my God, it's a shithole. It's just
in Bruges, great film.
Oh, Bruges is beautiful. Brussels. I was also very poor at the time.
This is the difference. When you're poor, when you're poor, that sounds awful. When you're
poor
when you haven't budgeted for a holiday like that.
I was poor for me, and I mean, Brussels is expensive.
And I'm one of those people who likes to actually enjoy the finer things when you go to these countries. So I often
we were
bankrupt
stealing
myself.
toilet paper from the pub.
Love it.
We used to have conversations of, because I was a stagiaire, so I got paid 50.
A what?
A stagiaire, so it's like a I mean, it's basically slave labor. So you work in a hotel, and they call them stages.
Right.
So like trainee.
Oh yeah, definitely
Like a
slave
trainee,
labor.
yeah. So I was getting paid at the time. It was €50 a week, but Brussels is as expensive as London or Dublin. So our rent was €400 a week. No, €400 a month at the time. Sorry, €400.
How do you live?
No, that wasn't. Yeah, well, my dad, obviously.
Oh, thanks, Daddy.
And there was also, like, we fully had conversations of being like pub or toothpaste, because we go like to happy hour and stuff, and we'd be like, the pub.
You have to go through this. I think you have to go through periods of adversity to realise how good, when you have it good, you have it good.
Yeah, but it was shit.
Yeah, it was
and I
shit.
knew my dad's credit card off by heart, because I had a boyfriend in Switzerland at the time. So we've been talking about it the other night. We would get the last night out on a Friday on the Ryanair flight from Brussels to Geneva. Everyone's obviously businessmen, because that's why Brussels to Geneva flight is there for businessmen. And there's me and my 18-year-old friend putting on our makeup and going straight to the club. By the way, Geneva is like the best clubs in the world, and because they worked in like the top hotels, we would get into these clubs. We're like 19, no money, with a bottle of vodka in our bags, and like with serious wealth. And we're like, hey, living our best life. I think we were probably mind sweeping. Like,
final few questions. Favourite cocktail?
Oh, margarita.
Margarita?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Least favourite cocktail?
Probably, maybe like a mudslide.
What the hell's a mudslide?
You don't know what a mudslide?
Oh,
I actually really like mudslides. But they're like 1,000 calories, so I can't have them.
Is it chocolate and stuff?
It's an ice cream.
Oh.
Like, it's a big shake, but it's like Kahlua, Bailey's, like ice
sounds
cream.
amazing.
It's unreal. I'm only saying that because it's literally 1,000 calories.
I know, no, that's fun. I'm going to try mudslide too, and I can't drink. All right, cool. Let's wrap up there. Thank you so much. That was epic. Woo!
Of course.
So natural.